Hello? Okay. All right, guys, how did you like that talk? Awesome? All right, all right, all right. So, our next speaker is here to talk about and see who wants to see how AI and webinars are used together to create a real SaaS business? Yeah? And who would like to learn from someone who's actually done it to the tune of about $300,000 per month? Yeah? Yeah? All right, so our next speaker is an entrepreneur and expert in digital marketing and co-founder of Edity.com, the #1 AI content creation tool in the Czech Republic. He used automated webinars to scale his AI SaaS past $300,000 per month. And he's also managed over $5 million in meta ad spend, putting him right at the intersection of AI, paid traffic, and high converting webinars. So if you care about scaling big with AI and webinars, you definitely don't want to miss this. Epic Webinar Summit, please give a big round of applause for Stepan Hlinka.
All right, thank you so much. How do you enjoy the event so far? Awesome, awesome. It's been a long day, so I hope you will not fall asleep right now with me, because I flew all over from Czech Republic to hang out with you, and it's been a long flight. And also, more importantly, to show you how I used one automated webinar to grow our software company to over $3 million a year. Now, hopefully this works. Yeah, if you don't know who I am, my name is Stepan Hlinka, and I've been doing direct response marketing for the past 8 years. I was building businesses, managing millions of dollars in ad spend, and I'm a co-founder of #1 AI tool in Czech Republic called Edity.com. We target only small markets, Czech and Slovakia, but we were still able to get thousands of customers, grew to $300,000 a month. And our business model is simple. We sell monthly and yearly subscriptions to our AI tool that helps customers to create content using AI. How many of you, by the way, are running some kind of software? Raise your hand. Okay, cool. Now, how many of you are selling any kind of recurring offers, memberships, community? How to actually use webinars to grow any kind of recurring offer. So if you sell any kind of subscription-based offer, you probably know it's really hard to get customers into subscriptions, right? Nobody wants to commit to pay something monthly or yearly. Organic marketing is slow, paid ads are expensive because your CPA is usually higher than what you are selling on a recurring basis. Also, most startups, most SaaS founders that I'm talking to, they are losing money when acquiring new customers. And most of the time, they actually need to rely on investors, right? They need to get funding, and they burn through money from investors. They lose money on acquisition. They hope they will make a profit from the future recurring payments. Now, we couldn't do that. We are bootstrapped. We have no investors. So our first attempt to get customers when we first launched our tool was through this simple 5-day trial. So I started running paid ads because that's my thing. That's what I'm good at. And I offered a 5-day free trial to our tool. Now, after 5 days, they either stayed and became customers, or they churned, they canceled, and we didn't get any money. So this worked on a small scale, but it was really difficult to scale. Anytime I tried to increase budget, our CPA just went through the roof, right? We started losing money. And for us, again, because we are working with our own capital, it's just not sustainable. So I knew I had to figure out a way, how can we acquire customers at scale without losing money on the front end? That was my question. And how I think about a business in a simplified way is we have 2 different functions of the business. We have #1, acquisition, where the goal is to get as many new customers as possible. And then second is retention and monetization, where I sell to those customers and I try to generate profit, right? I want to have a great retention, so people don't just buy one time, they stay with me and they buy more and more. So when I was thinking about this, I was like, okay, in this case, we have acquisition offers. Acquisition offers, the goal here is not to make a profit. The goal is to acquire as many customers as possible while immediately recovering all the ad spend. And second is monetization offers, where I sell to other products or services to existing customers and I try to generate profit. And the idea was how to scale was that my software, which is the main thing I want to sell, should be the monetization offer. It shouldn't be the acquisition offer. But with the 5-day trial funnel, it served both purposes, right? We tried to acquire a customer with that, and we tried to monetize from other recurring payments. And it's super hard to scale. So I was like, okay, this will become our monetization offer. What do I sell on the front end as our acquisition offer? And Travis was talking here about like low ticket offers is definitely an option. But I was thinking like, what if we sell something more expensive? Because if we sell something more expensive, something higher ticket on the front end, we would flip the script and we would be able to be super aggressive with paid ads. Because imagine our competitor selling also like $70 a month software. If they run ads directly to that software, like how much they can spend to acquire a new customer, right? Maximum like $70 to break even, and I'm not even counting any other expenses to that. So I was like, what if we sell something for $1,000 on the front end? Like we could have up to $1,000 cost per acquisition. We would just outcompete everybody because we could spend more to acquire a customer. That's one of the first things I actually learned. I don't know why it's like this. It should be on the full slide, if someone can help me. But those who can spend the most to acquire new customers always wins, right? If you run any kind of paid ads, it's an auction. So if I can spend more to acquire the same customer, I will just beat you because you will not be able to scale. Okay, perfect, thank you. So I was thinking, okay, let's sell yearly subscription to our software. It made sense, right? I will sell for $1,000 because we have different levels in our software based on how many credits you want to use. So I was like, we will sell the most expensive level, which is around $1,200 a year, and I will sell it for a special price for $1,000. That was the kind of idea. And the best way to sell those kind of offers is obviously webinars. That's why we are here. You already know that webinars are the way to do it. And why I love webinars is mainly because it's everything you need to convert strangers into customers in one, right? It serves purpose of a free lead magnet because you offer something for free, so you collect email from the potential customers who are building a list. It's also amazing trust builder. Someone is spending 60, 90 minutes with you, maybe 2 hours, so you can't compare it with someone watching a couple of real videos on Instagram, for example. You will never build the same amount of trust. You can make a special urgent offer to maximize conversions at the end. And what I love the most, you can automate it. I never did the webinar live. The webinar scaled us from like $80,000 a month to $300,000 a month alone. And I never did it live. I just recorded it once and I run ads to it. You will see the numbers. I will show you the entire system in a minute. But I don't really believe that you need to necessarily do webinars live, okay? Definitely, you have a higher conversion rate doing it live, but I have a way higher show-up rate, you know? If I run a live webinar, I can have like 25%. Someone talk about it. The standard is right nowadays like 25% show-up rate, right? But with automated webinars, you can have around 50% show-up rate. So even if I have like a little bit lower conversion rate, I have double the amount of people watching the webinar. So that's about like why we decided to do webinars. So I want to show you right now kind of the journey when I got this idea, how I went about it, because anytime I'm creating a webinar, and I've done a lot of them, I also helped a bunch of my clients over the years to do 7-figure webinars. I do it through this 4-step process. So number 1 is the offer. I always start with the end of mine. So this was a really key thing. Okay, I'll tell you a story about it because, like I told you, I was like, I will sell yearly subscription to our tool, right? And then I was like, oh my God, this sucks, right? Why would someone buy 1 year of our tool? Why would someone commit for a year if they can try it for free, they can pay monthly and decide to you know, make the decision later after they actually try it? So I just changed the position because the key here is you need to have a great offer. The offer needs to be so good that people who didn't actually plan to buy something are in the comments like, oh my God, I need to buy it. We have it all the time in our webinar. When I'm checking the chat, there are people, I knew he will sell something. I planned to never buy anything here. I just wanted to learn, but I need to buy this. So what I did, I changed the positioning a little bit. So instead of selling the yearly subscription, I created an 8-week online course where I teach how to use AI in marketing. So we literally teach in an 8-week course how to use our tool in marketing. So it also helps with retention because people actually learn how to use our tool, how to get a value out of it. So on the webinar, I don't sell the subscription because it's not sexy at all. Nobody wants it. I sell the course, and then I position the main thing that I want them to get as a free bonus, because then it's attractive, right? So suddenly, it went from buy yearly subscription to our software for 1K to buy this AI marketing course for 1K, plus you will get a couple of bonuses for free, including yearly access to our tool completely for free. So the idea here, whatever you sell, whether it's a membership, recurring offer, software, don't sell it directly, position it as a free bonus. Because it's the thing that people want the most, so they feel like they are getting it for free if they buy the course, right? And also we sell it on our website for, the most expensive package is like $1,200. So literally during the webinar, I share the screen and I show them, hey, you can go to our website right now, you can buy it for $1,200 for a year. Or you can buy it today during the webinar, you get a course, you get a couple of bonuses, it's just part of the package and it's cheaper, right? So it's like really irresistible offer, and that's why I believe like we have such a good take rate on that. Now, anytime I'm creating offer, there are some building blocks that I'm trying to have in my offer. Not always I have all of them, but it will be like a good map for you if you are creating your offer for your webinar. If you have all of these there, it'll be like super attractive. So number one is specific promise, right? The main thing that I'm selling, I want it to be specific. I had a client, and she's selling membership. It's a 1-year membership, and there's like a lot of different trainings about selling and social media and stuff like that. And her conversion was horrible on a webinar because nobody wants to get something so general, right? Access to the membership where there's so much stuff. So again, what we did with her, we created something more specific, like a 6-week course, and we positioned the membership as a free bonus. Same idea, right? And instantly her conversion rate went up. So specific promise, because it's way more appealing if I tell you, I will teach you how to lose weight, right? It's not as compelling if I tell you like specific numbers. Also specific time frame, a defined time frame for achieving the outcome, how fast it will happen. That's why also like any test I've done, if there's like a timeline, like a 6-week program, 8-week program, it's way more appealing and the conversion rate is higher than if you do like, this is a membership, right? That's why we always like position the membership as a free bonus. Also proof, you want to have proof throughout your offer because people are skeptical. I'm always thinking, okay, how can I make this appealing to someone who is the biggest skeptic? Right? They never heard about me, they think I'm lying, they think it's all bullshit. How can I make this appealing to them? How can I prove them that it's actually legit? Bonuses. How many of you like to get free gifts? Anyone? So it's like it's just a human nature, right? That's why teleshopping, like Horst Fuchs stuff, actually worked, right? Like if you get free bonuses and you feel like the value of the bonus is high, you feel like you are taking advantage of someone, like you need to like take that offer. So I'm trying to create bonuses that are making it easier or faster to get the outcome that I'm promising in the main thing. And in my case, the main bonus is obviously the software, right? Edity. Another thing is special deal. Again, you want to make them feel like they are taking advantage of you. You want to make them feel like it'll be like stupid to not take that offer right now because they're just like such a good stuff. So what I'm doing when I'm presenting my main thing, the bonuses and everything, I'm always having in mind, how can I increase the perceived value of this thing? I'll give you an example. So back in the time, I had a PDF called 7 templates for Facebook ads, something like that, right? It's because I was a Facebook advertising guy, so I had a free lead magnet, and it was basically giving you templates for your Facebook ad copy. Now, imagine I ran one ad where I just say, hey, here's the free template where you have 7 ad copy templates for your Facebook ads. And now imagine I run second ad, and in that ad, I actually focus on increasing the perceived value of that thing. So I say something like, over the past few years, I spent over $5 million on Facebook advertising spend. I tested thousands of ads, and I spent the past 6 months actually going through all our successful ads, and I found that all the time we are using the similar template. So I put together 7 templates that made us, this amount of money. Instantly the same thing has a higher perceived value because there's a story, there's a proof, there's also, you feel like I put effort into that, right? I spent 6 months actually putting it together. So special deal, scarcity, where there's some kind of limited quantity of the product that will increase the demand. I'm not doing that in our offer. We don't have scarcity, but obviously if you sell coaching, if you sell something where there's the element where it's only for a limited amount of people, it will definitely increase the demand. Next is urgency. That's what we use a lot. I've tested it, and for us, the best urgency is 24 hours. So when we run our automated webinar, there's 24 hours to take advantage of the offer. And then risk removal, right? So we present this amazing offer. Hey, you buy the course, you get our tool for free, you get all these bonuses for free, you get a special deal. There's a 24-hour deadline, and now you don't risk anything because you can try it out for 30 days. No question asked. If you don't like it, we'll give you all your money back. So those are all the building blocks that we use in our offer. I think the main idea, if you sell kind of software, take the main thing and position it as a bonus. I even did it with clients who just splinter it out from the main offer, right? I think you talk about that you are selling membership. You can take the most attractive thing from the membership as well that people want the most, and you can position it as a free bonus. Because now they feel like, oh my God, this is the thing that I want the most, and it's free if I buy this main thing. And that makes a big difference, actually. People went crazy when we did this offer. So I created my acquisition offer. So I was like, okay, we will have a front-end acquisition offer. We will not do low ticket. I will actually do higher ticket offer on the front end. And we did the main thing, which was the online course, AI Marketing Academy. It's in Czech language. And we have 5 bonuses. And the first bonus here is the AI tool. So the offer is $1,000. And again, my idea was, okay, right now on the front end, even if we don't make any money on the front end, we will just be able to spend a lot on ads. And I will show you how it worked out. So once you have your offer, you go into the webinar. Now you can create the actual webinar presentation. So I will give you my framework when I'm creating the webinars, how I think about it. I've tested a lot of stuff, and right now I'm just repeating the same framework because it works. And I will give you some insights, because obviously I could be here for hours talking about each of these 4. So I will just try to give you, a couple of things that might be helpful. So when it comes to the actual webinar, there are 3 parts, right? There's an intro. I try to stay within 5 to 20 minutes. And that's your typical thing. You introduce the topic. You tell them what they will discover in the webinar, who it is for. And the main thing is some kind of story and building up the credibility. Now, what is important here is if I'm selling a software, I don't want to tell my life story unless it's relevant to that software, right? So in my intro here, I'm not telling the life story. For myself as a presenter, I'm just building up my credibility. So it's a quick intro about myself, why I'm credible to speak on the topic. But then it's a story, how and why we created the software. Because I want it to be relevant to the software, right? That's the main thing I want them to actually want. So I talk about a story, how and why we created the software here. Now, the biggest mistake I see people nowadays, especially with automated webinars, what they do in intro, is it's just dragging too long. People have a low attention span, and when you see the webinar graph, you will see that most people actually drop off at the beginning, the first few minutes. Then it's stable, and then they drop off when you go into the offer. So it's really important to optimize the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. It's critical. So right now in my automated webinars, I go right into the thing. So I say something like, hey, welcome to the webinar. As you know, I will show you how to do this and this and this. More specifically, you will discover, and I list out all the amazing stuff they will discover. So I want to just hook them in right away. Then you have a content that's usually 20 to 50 minutes. I prefer to go into the offer around 1 hour mark. That's my rule of thumb. It can be sometimes longer, but around 1 hour is ideal in my experience. And in the content, it was already said, the biggest mistake is overteaching. You don't want to overteach. And with software, what I mainly do in this section is a little bit different than if I'm selling just an info product. So here I actually want to show what the software does. So if you sell any kind of software, you want to show them how amazing it is, right? Stefan here was showing what Webinar Kit can do, you know, how it can create your presentation. That's what you would show in a webinar, actually. Because you want them to be excited about the software. So in the content portion, I'm actually showing them what our tool can do for them, how it works, and they get excited about the tool. And I'm not even telling them how they can buy the tool, but they get excited like, oh my God, how can I get the tool? And then there's the offer. So the offer is 20 minutes or more, and that's where you present your compelling offer that you created in the first step. Now, if I would give you just one tip with the webinar, it would be this. Like most people think that you start selling here, that you start selling at the end, you know, in the offer section. And it's the biggest mistake. You should be selling here. You are selling the entire webinar without them knowing you are selling them, and you are selling them on the mindset they need to have to say yes to your offer. That's the most important thing, and that's the biggest. I think this is actually the reason why most webinars that I've seen don't convert. They don't think about this stuff. So anytime I'm creating the webinar presentation, I'm thinking, what kind of beliefs, what kind of mindset does my ideal client needs to have to say yes to my offer at the end? Because if I'm selling AI content creation tool, and you come to the webinar and you don't believe that you should be using AI, maybe you hate AI, or like that you will never buy the offer at the end, right? Or if I sell a course about Facebook ads, that was a common in my like few years back, I had people coming to the webinar about Facebook ads, and they tried Facebook ads, they spent a lot of money on them, and they lost the money, and right now they have a bad experience, right? So they feel like, oh, I hate Facebook ads. I lost money on them, right? They don't work in my industry. They don't work for my offer. So unless you shift that belief during the webinar, they will never buy at the end. So it's really important in the intro and content to focus on this. So how I do it, I just write down all the beliefs that my ideal client needs to have, right? They need to believe I need to use I need to use AI in order to get the results I want. Because that's how I say, you have an ideal client, they have some kind of current situation, they have some kind of dream, goal, and you want to position your thing that it's a key to get to the goal. And there's a lot of specific beliefs your ideal clients needs to have, but if I give you 3, there are 3 general ones that are repeated all the time. The first one is they need to believe in you or your brand. Because if they don't believe in you, that you are the best person to help them get the results, they will not buy from you, right? That's why the credibility part is important. That's why the proof is important. The story. Then they need to believe in your system, in your solution to their problem. They need to believe that your thing is the best, fastest, most effective way to get the results they want, right? That's usually what you do in the content section. You want to show them that your solution is the answer to their problem. And number 3, they need to believe that they can actually do it and it will work for them. Because they can believe in you, they can believe in your system and your solution, but if they have the limiting beliefs that, oh my God, I see the result, but it will not work for me because I have 4 kids, I have no time, my industry is different, right? You need to overcome all those objections in advance in the content, because then the offer part becomes easy. They are already sold. You just present the compelling offer, but they are sold on all the beliefs they need to have to buy the offer. And another really underrated part of the webinar, in my opinion, is the end of the webinar. So a lot of people, they present the offer, and at the end, they just say, okay, that's it, thank you so much, bye, right? They stop the webinar. So I actually learned this from, his name was actually repeated, from Jason Fledlin. His One-to-Many book is amazing, and I've seen Jason going to the offer at 1 hour mark, but his webinar was like 3.5 hours, right? So he stayed at the end for a long time, because that's the part where, you know, think about it. Like, if you go to the offer, people who are not interested, they just drop off here. They are not on the webinar anymore. People who are interested and they are like, okay, I'm in, they already purchased. But there are still a lot of people watching at the end after you make an offer. Why they are still watching? They are watching because they are interested, but they have some fear holding them back from purchasing. It's always the fear. Fear of, okay, what if I lose money? What if it doesn't work? What if that? So it's your opportunity here to overcome objections and sell and close. So what I do, I prepare a long list of frequently asked questions. Questions that I know my audience will ask, and also all the objections that might come up. Also, you can use AI. Just put your offer and your webinar to AI. Ask about what will be like 100 objections they might have. And you get a list of 100 objections. Then you can be like, okay, turn those into questions I can use in frequently asked questions section of the webinar. It'll turn it into questions. And you can stay for another 20, 30, 40 minutes, maybe longer, to answer all those objections there. And you will see that more people are buying at the end of this, this webinar, where you are just like, you know, shifting their beliefs and eliminating the fear. So that's the webinar portion of it. Once you have the webinar, there's the system that is, like I said, automated. So I will show you right now how our funnel looks like. And there is like one, again, important insights, what we do, because our goal is to grow monthly recurring revenue. Our goal is not just to sell on the webinar, right? We have a software. That's the main thing that we sell. So it's something I call like 2-in-1 acquisition system. So how it works, we have a registration page. Typical webinar registration page. I will show it to bigger. Couple of points here, what is really important. I translated it to English, by the way. It's only in Czech. We target only Czech, so I translated it with Google, so it might not be perfect. But this is the section that you see before you scroll. And it's really important that everything important is visible before they scroll. That's a big mistake people do with landing pages, where, you know, it's you need to scroll down to see when the webinar is happening. If it's even a webinar, some people just have a headline, and I don't even know it's a webinar or free training, right? So as you can see, we have a free online training there. There's a headline, subheadline. There's button, register for free. There's who's presenting. And we have a next training today at 7 p.m. here. And what else? And this is important, by the way. If you put a social proof, any kind of social proof, even like this, before they scroll, it will increase your conversion rate. I've tested it a lot, and this just helps. Even if there's just this, it helps with conversion rate. But we also have this. It's in Czech language, but those are like the best lines. People say it on the webinar. Like, you know, going crazy. Oh, this is amazing. I can't believe it can do this, right? And it just builds curiosity and excitement for people. What's even more important is how it looks like on mobile. So as you can see, it needs to be mobile optimized. Most traffic is coming from mobile nowadays. So again, everything important is there. You see it's a free training, you see what it's about, you see the button, and when you scroll down, the button is sticky, so it's always there. Now, once they register, and this is the key part in this funnel, we use the thank you page to make an offer. The thank you page is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated, underutilized page, because 100% of the leads will see this page. It's the only page that 100% people who register for the webinar will see. And most people do, okay, thank you for registering for the webinar, it's happening there, I will see you there. So what we do, because we want to grow recurring revenue, we offer a 14-day trial. So we tell them, congratulations, your registration was successful. You will find the link to the webinar in your email inbox. But first, check out this amazing one-time offer. And we offer them a 14-day free trial. You will see the take rate on that. But it's amazing because right now, even if they don't buy on the webinar, we get certain percentage of people into subscription. And even if we don't make money, which I will show you, even if we don't make money on the webinar itself, we are getting trials for free if we just break even, right? So once they go through that, there's a webinar and it sells the acquisition offer. But again, the main point is that even if this webinar, if this system makes $0, meaning we break even, we spend $100,000 on ads per month and we make $100,000, we're still growing the MRR. By the way, I forgot, this is how our checkout page looks like, if you want to take an inspiration. Usually when I have less than 24-hour deadline, I don't do like a whole sales page thing. It's not necessary because people already know the offer from the webinar, so I just want them to buy. So there's like a quick recap and there's a checkout form. If we have a longer window, let's say there's like 3-day deadline or 5-day deadline and I'm following up with people who didn't see the whole webinar, I would do the full sales page. But again, what's important is we are growing MRR here. We are getting trials even before the webinar happens. And we are growing MRR here, which is important. They buy the offer, they get 1 year of ADT for free, but what happens after a year? 1 minute? They get into monthly subscription as well, right? So that's how we grow our MRR. By the way, I forgot to mention, the webinar is running just in time. We have always 2 options. First one is every 15 minutes. Second one is 7 p.m. at the evening. I need to speed it up, guys, because I'm on my time, but the last one is ads. A lot of things I can talk about with ads, so I'll try to go quickly through it. There are 3 insights I want to give you, and I will also show you the numbers from our average month. So the first one is you want to think like an investor. What do I mean by that? I talk about the acquisition offers, I talk about the monetization offers, and what is really important is if you check our numbers, this is the whole funnel. We run ads to the automated webinar, right? So all I'm doing is I try to get as much traffic as possible to the webinar. And my thinking is, my mindset is, I don't need to make a profit on that. Most people want to make a profit on the front end, on the first transactions, but this is my acquisition offer. I just want to get as many customers as possible. So if I optimize for profit, I wouldn't scale as aggressively, right? So this is like these are real numbers. We spent $94,000 on ads. This is per month. We get 7,055 leads. Our CPL is $13. 592 trials. So we pay $160 per trial. There's an 8% conversion rate. 3,169 attendees. 44% show-up rate. A little bit lower than I like with automated webinars. And we got 204 sales. So you can see our CPA. Our CPA is $463. If our competitor selling AI tool had this CPA, they would go bankrupt. So we can just outspend them, and we are still profitable on the front end, right? But imagine, even if we are not profitable, let's say we make $0. Let's say our conversion rate is not 6.4% on this automated webinar. Let's say it's 3%. We would spend 94, make 94. It's still amazing, and people don't get it for some reason. Because we get 7,000 leads completely for free. I'm not even talking about how many people saw our ads, our brand, because of all these ads running. We get almost 600 people starting a trial with a credit card required in our tool. And we get customers, and it's all for free. And we can sell them other stuff. So guess what? Like in our follow-up, we just get them to the tool, to the subscription. So all these leads that didn't buy, which is the majority, we have their email. Even people who watch the webinar, they trust us more. They know us, right? So we can sell them the stuff. How many minutes I can go more? I'm on my time, right? Close. Okay. Well, 2 more minutes. Okay. Okay. 2 more minutes. So, real quick, if I have this kind of acquisition funnel, I can create more acquisition funnels like this that are breaking even on the front end. I'm really aggressive with ad spend. I'm growing my reach, growing my audience, and then there's the retention and monetization, where I sell other products and services. I can sell recurring offers. That's our case. We sell the subscription. And I can do special promotions. Again, if we made $0 on a webinar, this is our last Black Friday promo. It was like now in 2025. In one day, we did 70K, and it's all from our list. There is no expense with ads. It's literally just promoting to our list that came from the webinar, right? So think like an investor, because if I have an average order value on the first purchase $50 and I make $0, what happens if in 1 year the lifetime value of the customer, because I keep selling that customer stuff, is $250? Would you invest $50 in 1 year to get $250? You would, right? 2 year can be $500. Third year can be $7,500. So I think like an investor. I'm buying the customer same as I'm buying a stock. And I just do the best to retain that customer and increase his value so it makes me money in the long term. Guys, I don't have a time, but I just quickly wanted to mention psychology is more important than algorithm. I will probably not be able to go through this. You can ask me about this. Yeah, I think we can go into, we have time for questions or no? 2 questions. Okay, guys, let's go into questions because I'm on my time. So got a longer presentation than expected. So any questions? Yeah.
The new offer. Are you able to solve that problem? So if they get on your free trial, they use the email to sign up for a free trial, right? And now you sell $1,000 with your software as a bonus. So do they have to now upgrade?
No. We have it, it's just custom set up where if they use the same email, it will just upgrade them in that account they created. So they created account for a free trial in our tool. And we have the email for the account. So if they buy the $1,000 thing right now, it will automatically check if that email is used, if it's an active customer, and if yes, it will just give them the 1 year for free, and it will pause their subscription.
Okay, so what about if they already paid for your subscription?
Same thing. So if you paid, let's say you paid and you paid for 1 month, and right now you are in the middle of that, it will automatically pause your current subscription in Stripe. It will give you 1 year for free, and after 1 year, it will continue the subscription you had.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other question?
Great chat, Stepan. One question is, what's the stick rate on the people taking the free trial during that funnel?
Yeah, so it's, I would need to check the exact number, but it's close to 30%.
Brilliant. And then do you know how long the stick rate is for? Because that's monthly, right? That's not them taking.
Yeah, that's monthly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's monthly. Yeah, true. I'm not sure about if you are asking like about the average they stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, our average customer stays for I think around 5 months, something like that. But I'm not sure if it's not like particularly only from this. Sure. We get traffic from other places as well. So.
Amazing. Thank you.
Quick question. On the Facebook ad, do you do any retargeting? I know there's a lot of, block and all that, or is that just straight, to the opt-in?
Oh yeah. So for the offer, I don't, because it's a 24-hour deadline. It's automated and it's really difficult to do. But I had a section here called brand remarketing, but I don't want to take a time. But what I do is only 3% of your potential customers buy, right? Also on the webinar. So, but we are building this whole list, and most people do retargeting only to get sales, to make offer. I do something called brand remarketing, where a lot of people Google us, so obviously we have a search ad. If someone Google us, immediately we take them to the page where there are more than 1,000 positive reviews. We get like 36 ROAS on this ad, right? Because it's only if people actually Google our name. But more importantly, I do something called meta brand remarketing. It's super tactical, but you create awareness campaign. And you target only your audience. So people, your leads, people who visit your website, people who already know you. You optimize for maximized reach of ads. And I think about what do my potential customers needs to believe and see in order to buy somewhere in the future. And I create all these different ads with different content. So I can have reviews, positive reviews. I can have value content where I'm showing our tool. I can have videos where I overcome objections, testimonials, right? And I run them and I set up, if I have, let's say, 15 pieces of content, I can set up the frequency that they will see each piece of content maximum once in every 15 days. So what happens, anytime they go on Facebook or Instagram, even if they didn't buy, they see our ads, but it's only valuable content, or it's only positive testimonials about our software. So it's just moving them closer to buying from us, even though it's impossible to track ROI from this, because there are no links, literally, unless I send them to the YouTube, for example, to the YouTube video, because I know if they consume 20-minute YouTube video, they will get, again, closer to buying from me, right? So, yeah, that's what I do. It's super cheap, by the way. And it feels like you are a celebrity to them, because they see you every day, but they see every day different content, because you set up the frequency limit. So every day, one day they see positive testimonial, another day they see the value video. So, yeah. That's it. Thank you so much.